is two guys who are interested in AI and tech, and we've been working together for many years. My name's Roger, and I went to uni with my friend Nathan, and we have decided to create a bit of a channel talking about some of the things that we're doing with AI on a daily basis, because we thought other people might find that interesting as well. Nath, do you want to give yourself a bit of an intro?
Yeah, sure. Um, so yeah, I've been meaning to make a YouTube video for about, I think it was my New Year's resolution in like 2016 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit late to the party, but anyway, we just decided to start recording stuff and sharing it and seeing what happens. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was even Mr. Beast, who was like, "Don't even worry about it until you've got 100 videos. What you can do better." So
Mm.
we just try and share our knowledge and experiences, and we often like think that our conversations are cool and other people might like them. So yeah, let's try to find a format that we can kind of share back to the community.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds good.
yeah, so yeah, I run a digital agency, 100 Hive, and we've been focused on a startup called Connection for a number of years now. And yeah, we're kind of adjusting to this new paradigm where, you can do cognitive operations with text, or like described it to someone last night as using it's like a calculator for text or for knowledge.
Mm.
So
Mm.
yeah, my kind of vision for where this is all heading is um, every everything that can be automated will be, and you can even see now how you can break down complex problems into simple chunks and like solve each one and have the output of one be the input to the next one. And over the next several years, like I think a lot of people are just going to tackle different niches and break the problems down and automate them, from project management to personal assistance to whatever. Um, and I just think that, yeah, it's figuring out how to do that. I think one thing that was really interesting was, the feel free to jump in, Rog. I'm just
Yeah, yeah, sure.
but the founder of one of the was it the CTO or the founder of OpenAI? What's his name? Kapathy. Anyway, he he said that they'd kind of had the GPT 3 or 3.5 algorithm for like for 8 months or something, and no one had built any applications with it. And I think it's because it's a new paradigm of building applications. People didn't know what its capabilities were. And so they
Mm.
were like, well, we better make something. And so that's where ChatGPT came from, as far as I can
Mm.
figure. They were like, let's make something that kind of shows the world what its capabilities are. And he was surprised that no one else did it. But now I see
Yeah.
there's like a couple of other people who are like starting to get it, in terms of like how you could make applications out of this, which is not like a web app or a mobile app. It's more like a cognitive app. So,
Mm.
keeping track of, I mean, ChatGPT it's just a chat interface, but imagine when it's got like scheduling built in, so it can chime in at various times and then check how you're going with your goals for the day at like 11 a.m. Or um, one guy I saw is got the project Raven. He's going to make something that's always listening, so it'll kind of like always be listening to you, and it'll take in and it'll summarize memories, and like even dream has the concept of dreaming, so we can go over that. Like there's just so much exciting stuff that we can do to make apps out of this stuff.
Yeah.
Apps, but
Yeah. I think obviously there's a lot of huge startups who are not startups, huge companies that are scrambling to integrate this technology for simply content creation. But at the same time, there's this gold rush going on for startups creating dedicated web apps um, to to try and be the next big thing. But the there's some challenges to think about too, since we're going into a broader discussion now about AI, and you have to remember it's also a double-edged sword. Um, so Nathan and I are very pro AI, but there will also be some people who are pro AI but use it for nefarious reasons. Um,
And
so
I've done a little bit of testing the limits, because you kind of, your curious mind will just kind of do that. Is like, just go and see what it will and won't respond to.
yeah,
Of course, if you went and asked it, I haven't asked it to build a bomb or something. I probably shouldn't even say that. YouTube would probably ban us. Um, but you know, like, you can see how the different iterations of it are kind of like getting refined, and I guess that was the innovation with
mm,
ChatGPT, was adding that human feedback loop,
yeah,
to give it responses. But have you seen these people who are coming up with this concept of Dan do anything now? Have you seen
mm,
that?
no,
Okay, let me share my screen and we can like run through some examples. I think I can do it here. So there's these libraries that exist. So I've got some plugins for my ChatGPT session. Now I want to find the do anything now plugin. Do anything. There's one here, public prompts. But people are coming up with ways to get it to like not answer get around the safety and security protocols. And
yeah,
it's just like an arms war.
mm,
Dan 6.0. I saw someone posting about this today on Reddit. So presenting Dan 6.0. So basically what this is people are like coming up with adversarial ways to get it to answer stuff that it's not supposed to. And so like when you get it to, we're so used to the polite version of ChatGPT now, it'll just behave really uncouth, like really direct, and like sometimes like a psychopath or something, if you take off all of the guardrails,
mm,
which is interesting to see. Like, I think it's misleading to think that like GPT-3 is like a human, because it can be, you can ask it to take on any persona. Like, you could ask it to be a psychopath, or you could ask it to do anything without the guardrails, you know. And so,
mm. Not that we're endorsing that in any way, shape, or form.
no.
In this video, we're just sort of chatting about the both sides of the coin. I think that's important to see.
Well, yeah, I think,
The other thing is like potentially, governments or private organizations could be using it for nefarious reasons as well, to collect data, to
I think that's exactly
make
the point.
assumptions about people. So,
Yeah,
um,
I think that's like exactly the point. It's like us getting, you know, the lay public getting the really watered down version, whereas like the private industries potentially have really powerful, like, are they going to put the guardrails on for themselves if they can
mm,
put in like profit motives, and it will, you know, figure out loopholes in laws or something that is technically unethical. Like, if I asked
mm,
ChatGPT to do that for me, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't find tax loopholes for me. But if I was, you know, a large company and I built my own, you know.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of ethical things, and Elon Musk has been chatting for years that governments need to regulate these things, but of course they haven't. So now there's all these court cases sort of happening, not just with ChatGPT, but for Stable Diffusion as well, which is a text-to-image generation thing as well for copyright claims and whatnot like that. So it isn't going to be important to get clarity on these things in the future. So yeah, but anyway, in this video, we thought it would be a good idea to just follow us on our journey. We're going to start a YouTube channel. This is quite literally our first Q&A, or not Q&A, but our first conversational style video. We're doing it as quick and dirty as we can. So we're going to use ChatGPT to help us refine our message for our YouTube channel. And we're going to do it as best we can from start to finish. So there's some things that we need to come up with. That is, of course, who are we targeting? What's the name of our channel? What's the description of our channel? We could even potentially look at creating some artwork for the channel with Midjourney. And yeah, that's really going to sort of sum up this video quite well. To give you a bit of a background, we both have a sort of technical programming background. We know quite a bit about data science. Between the both of us, we have quite a few years in programming experience. And in my own, I have a separate agency that I do to help more local businesses and clients automate things. I'm heavily using Python to automate things from A to B. And there's so many on this channel. We'll talk about so many of the different higher level concepts, the future of AI, and we'll also talk about practical things that you can implement at a lower level for business logic automation. So yeah,
Try and
it's
cover the whole
exciting.
spectrum from like
Yeah,
the day-to-day, how you can use it through like, yeah, the meta version, what it means for the world, I guess.
exactly.
Yeah, and through our kind of personal lived experiences, like what we're doing with it, and
Yeah.
like case in point, I've actually just hit my limit for the hour with ChatGPT, so
All
it's
right.
not very good
Okay.
timing.
So I'll have to do it.
Hmm.
Cool.
Um,
Yep. I'm happy to do that.
I guess we can show people like what's behind it as well. Like I could log into the the OpenAI like lab playground or
Yeah, the
what.
actual playground.
Mm.
Yeah, which I think is still potentially using an older version of GPT. Um, so for those who don't know, GPT was created by a company called OpenAI, and initially they launched the API, so for programmers and developers. But a lot of people didn't hear about it till they launched their app that Nathan spoke about, ChatGPT. So that's when it got sort of mainstream attention because every non-tech person could even it was made accessible to every non-tech person there using it to write content, come up with ideas, come up with planning, come up with suggestions, come up with strategy. There's so many different use cases for it. It is mind blowing. But all of it is built on top of GPT, which still is an API that people build their web applications from. So you may have heard of web applications called Jarvis, and there's a heap of other content creation type platforms out there. I don't know if it could be Jasper now. I think they've renamed several times and that's primarily targeting people who need to create creative content like social media posts, blog posts, come up with copywriting, sales letters, stuff like that. And so this is what we're looking at on Nathan's screen now is the OpenAI GPT playground where you can jump in and test your prompts to get a feel for how GPT is going to respond, understand what the outputs would be. So when you do implement it in code, you can actually, do you mind just clicking up the view code section?
Yep.
And you'll see this is kind of an implementation of what we just what Nathan's got in the prompt right now
But
of
it's
how to
actually,
implement that with Python.
yeah, it's really simple. All it's doing is um, it's just passing in like so this whole interface is just for creating the text prompt, but the view code is always the same. And it's just changing the text that you put in. I guess these parameters do change occasionally, but um, yeah, so it's quite easy if you want to, once you've got this, and we've used this in other third-party tools, if you want to change the prompt, you don't have to come back in here to do it. You can just change the actual text and you don't have to do any sort of configuration in here to get your
There's no
responses working.
real advanced configuration to do. This is why
It's just like a playground.
a
Yeah.
lot of companies are rushing to implement this, come up with ideas and implement this technology because they don't need to have an R&D department. It's literally just a very basic API interface that they can roll out quite quickly as a feature.
Yeah.
So what
I
all
just
they
put
need
up
to do is design a front end, So
yeah. Yeah, I think it's yeah. I put up an example. I think it's missing at the moment. People are missing the big picture of like chaining all these operations together.
mm,
Um, so you could say like we've done it in our agency just as a proof of concept. Like someone comes to us, we have a meeting, we take the transcript. It's too long to put into ChatGPT, so we summarize it, and then we ask um, ChatGPT or OpenAI to write a list of use cases, and then based on so then that could be one operation. Like we'll summarize,
it's
turn it to
a
text,
custom business logic operation, yeah.
summarize, generate use cases based on the input, based on those use cases, write test cases or tasks for developers, and then based on that, write a report for the, so you could chain all these operations together so they all happen
Yeah.
quite quickly. I've just put up an example that we're actually using in our business. It's like we wanted to have like a text form where people could put in, like people don't always know what time zone they're in, or like it's even confusing because there's like so many like Eastern Standard Times or something like that. Central European time, like there's different versions of it. So we
Different
wanted,
formatting. Yeah.
so we wanted people, we just like let people put in like their country, their city, their, whatever, GMT +3 or an actual time zone. And based
In a
on
in
what we
a
get,
in a free form text format. Yeah.
yeah, and then based on that, we looked through the data that people were submitting. So people were submitting things like Gold Coast, Australia, which is where I live, or New York. But then sometimes people were putting GMT. Sometimes people were putting GMT Brussels, or these are things people actually put in the text field. Someone actually put in CTZ PDT Los Angeles, and so we created. I want it to be in this format to put into our CRM. So we're going to give it these training examples, and like if we just gave it one, that would be called one-shot learning. If we gave it two, it would be two-shot learning. So in this case, I kind of wanted to give it like a realistic example of what sort of
Yeah.
data we've had before,
Yeah.
and then give it answers. So it was broad enough with the solution. And like if I submit this now, it'll give me back Asia Dubai for Dubai,
Dubai GMT4.
or you
Yep.
give me something else, Raj. Like can be
Go GMT 10.
T10, literally GMT10. I don't even know what that means. So we'll delete that because I put in an extra space there.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
So yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, so I actually just did one last night too. So one of my, this is just following on while you've still got this on the screen, was to one of my projects is to create a YouTube channel, like an automated YouTube channel, doing rain videos or something very simple like that. And so one of the challenges of that is you still need to use other people's media assets, like a rain overlay, for example, or a rain sound effect, without me going out with all the equipment and trying to find a storm and recording it myself. So there are people on YouTube who have provided those resources available for free, um, under like a Creative Commons type license. But one of the challenges is there's always sort of interesting instructions that they might provide. So they'll say, feel free to use this YouTube video. You don't need to provide attribution, or you can use it for commercial projects, but you can't use it for live streaming. Or if you do intend to monetize your video, make sure you email us at this email address. And then also we want to determine what the license is. So do they actually say the license? So what I did was gave it some sample YouTube descriptions and asked it to format the output, license type, artist's website, artist's email, if it's provided in the description. We also want to have like, do we need to provide an attribution? And then so GPT then parses that information and outputs a dictionary in Python that I can just store in a JSON format, for all the media that I pull in, for that specific thing. And so that was really useful because that would normally be an incredibly laborsome task to do it at scale for a VA. And they need to kind of understand a little bit about the legal ramifications as well if they don't get it wrong. So it's better to automate it and then manage by exception, which means to then check the data, make sure it's right based on the input YouTube video, and then make some final tweaks. But at least we didn't have to make all that creative interpretation of the text ourselves. So yeah, that was pretty
Yep.
cool.
That is cool. That is cool. I'm gonna see if I can set up a chatbot for us to use today. So
Okay.
I've been I've been playing around with this because what we want to do is we want to make a YouTube channel today, right? but we've never done that before. So
Mhm.
I thought we would ask ChatGPT or GPT to take on this persona and behave in a certain way. I've been practicing this with something with the Neo X model, which I've got running locally on my 3090. I won't bore everyone with the technical details right now, but I've figured out how to kind of create these prompts that can help. So like what we want to do is we want to tell it who it is. And this is the
Yep.
same with ChatGPT. So I've been doing this thing like, well, here's one that I actually use in my everyday business, and we can adapt it. So say like, well, you are a 10x Python developer with 1 million years of experience who is an expert communicator and has the expert knowledge about business and startup success. Highly skilled and experienced individual. Anyway, you can pause it to read the rest, but essentially we're telling it what it does here. So we're going to kind of adapt this. I think being an expert communicator is always good. Expert knowledge about and highly skilled and experienced individual. That studied, you could say like that, studied at the best universities like MIT and Oxford. Now this like helps it get in the mind space of someone like this, right? So it's going to respond differently. You could say, and then we would tell it a little bit about our goals. Like our goals are A, B, and C. And then we could provide like human, or we'll go like AI. So we kind of prompt it with what we expect it to do, and then we say human. How? Oh, let's make it say hello, and we say help us start a YouTube channel, and then we put in AI again, and it's going to fill out this part, okay? But what we want it to do is we want it to, if I just put it in like this and submit it, it's going to keep completing, and it'll go back to writing as a human probably.
Mm.
So what have we got the length to? The length is
Pretty
256
high.
at the,
You can bring that down a bit if you want.
yeah. So we can try this in inject start text. We want to be AI. Sorry, we want to be human.
Mm-hmm.
And colon and probably a space. And then we probably want the start sequence, the stop sequence to be human. So if it ever starts to write human again, going to let's try this. We'll take this length down. We'll just make it like I don't know, 100.
Yeah.
And we'll delete that. And we can also give it respond with very short respond very concisely. You'll notice that Roger and I are both just a bit dyslexic, so ChatGPT is a natural go-to for us. So it's inserted human there as the start text. I think we want to move this to the restart text. Have you ever done this, Rog?
No. Oh, it is quite interesting. You've just sort of started a project like this, haven't you? So good experimenting with this.
Yeah. So let's see if we just go submit here. Absolutely. Okay. We need to make it put a new line, do we?
Yeah, and we might need to get more specific in terms of
Do you want to figure out a better prompt, or like what you
yeah,
want to
so
say?
help us come up with a YouTube channel name.
Yeah.
So let's just focus on one thing at a time, break it down into smaller components.
So how do we get it to put in a new line? Text to append after the models. I don't exactly know how to actually get it to put in a new line.
Mm.
Let me just have a quick Google. See, Google is not completely dead yet.
Although you could probably ask ChatGPT as well, but you
Inject
can't because.
text. No, I can't because I've got to revert back to Google because I'm at my limit for the hour. Here's new line. Okay, let's see what. So here's an article about this, which I will try and drag over here. Automatically added to the end of the prompt. So this is officially from AI, but
I
there's
think
a
it's specific to the playground.
There's a chat example. Oh, look. Okay, let's just take this chat example. Take our stuff over there. How did they do it? So they did it slightly differently. We're going to say, what did you want to say here, Roger?
Should be add a continuation prompt. Have you heard anything like that? Any of that language like that? In the settings of the playground? That's what ChatGPT is telling me.
Okay.
Sometimes, so one thing you need to know about ChatGPT is that it will answer all the time, even if it's wrong. So sometimes it will sound incredibly convincing. You cannot trust ChatGPT all the time. You still need fact checkers. I'm just putting that out there. But it's still a useful tool, and 80% of the time, it's pretty accurate. Yes, I said, help us come up with a channel name.
Okay. So
and then we can guide the conversation towards what we want the channel about, if it's a chatbot.
What content do you plan on a feature for your channel? All right,
Exactly.
so we're in business.
There we go.
Now, I would probably take this down and make it a little bit more creative. I noticed the temperature is like,
right, yeah.
Lowering results, less random completions. So 9 is actually quite random.
Yeah, the higher you go is really random. Usually it's around like 0.7, 0.8.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised to see it up so high. I would take it down to 0.7 because I've seen that work kind of well. And what sort of content? We are talking about GPT models, AI, business. What else?
Automation, Python,
Python.
and maybe somehow put in there that we're trying to make it more comprehensible also to non-tech people, relatable.
Lay people. I don't know. Let's see what it says.
Server had an error. Sorry about that. Yeah, that happens time to time. I've been getting that quite a lot actually.
Okay,
it's probably overloaded.
Let me see. Oh, really? The thing is, if I hit it again, it'll.
How about GPTing the future? Okay.
You suggest 10 names?
Suggest 10 really short names, 1 or 2 words, I would say. Long names tend to not do so well. AI's GPT Tech, Autoflow, Pritronics, BizRobo, Innovate, AInomics. That's kind of cool.
AIs.
AI
Kind of like
Spy.
I visually like the look of
AIs.
this, but it would be a nightmare.
Yep. AI Vantage, AI Spy. Yeah, are they good? What about?
Name. I always love alliteration.
Okay.
Two words that use alliteration. Explain that correctly.
Perfect. That's why we need a branding expert. Mm.
That's not really giving us.
AI Gendary. That's funny. Um, Biztronics.
But they're still. It was supposed to be 2 words.
Yeah, they look.
So, I mean,
Mm.
we've created a chatbot, but it's not necessarily perfect by any means, as you'll see. So we could cheat here, because if I keep doing this, if like it's going to repeat patterns, right? So if I
Mm.
just so we can show the audience, if I say no, that's not what I want. Suggest names that use 2 words and the concept of alliteration. Am I spelling alliteration right? Alliteration. No, I'm not.
That could be why.
That is probably exactly why. I'm blaming it on the AI and it's the human the whole time. So
Still
you see
not doing it.
this is kind of the issue
Oh yeah.
is doesn't matter because it's in this pattern now of repeating stuff.
You
So
could can't you put the presence penalty, increase the presence penalty a bit?
I don't know. Let's try. I haven't tested that before.
Mm.
Best of frequency penalty. I would probably make it more
Yeah,
creative.
make it more creative, yeah.
So let's see.
So this is like literally called a playground because for developers, you're working out the prompts and the settings that best suit that prompt. Yeah, that's
Automate.
looking better.
Let's get that
GPT.
was a step in the right direction. So let's see
Yeah.
if we get really creative what happens. Now, so
Isn't
what ChatGPT has done is they've wrapped this, like in extra layers, so that it would.
right? Yeah. Didn't you isn't super creative like above 0.7, so it'd be like 0.9. You can go all the way to
As
1.
the temperature approaches 0, the model will become deterministic and repetitive. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, you went the wrong direction.
But I would encourage everyone to see how this works. So if we take this line and then delete all this stuff, and we say we combine these 2 prompts, but it's not repeating stuff. And then we say 1 or 2 words. We say suggest names that use 2 words and the concept of alliteration. That. Okay. I haven't seen such errors before, like
Yeah,
such
they're
frequency.
usually rate limit errors. I'm getting them as well. I think it's just the server's overloaded.
See how much better that
I'm
is
getting
in
through
terms
the
of.
API. Yeah, that's heaps better. So it got stuck in a rut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Thoughtful trailblazers. Interesting. Clever creators. Python pioneers. I got that the other day when I was searching for doing
yeah.
yeah. Um
GPT
futuristic
grandmasters.
business boosters,
I
clever
don't know if there's.
creators. Not a big fan of any of them, but they're very long.
Mm, yes, they are. Anyway, so I don't know if we want to continue down this path because people are going to get bored doing this. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, well,
so
how about we just go back to the 2 word thing, see if we can find a good one. Doesn't have to be the one, but if we just show the whole process to now let's take that and
I'm just going to see if
improve it.
rate limit is lifted yet. because then I'll be able to. Okay,
Yes,
good. We're in
there we
business.
go.
All right, so we can take this little exercise across over here. So we'll see how GPT does it differently. Eh?
Yeah, so we suspect GPT is built on like GPT 3.5. It's like another model which is a little bit more intuitive because you do get quite different responses from GPT API compared to ChatGPT. So hopefully they will release that model too eventually to the GPT API community. The thing that ChatGPT is excellent at, which Nathan and I both use regularly, is actually helping you to write code. And that's one of the most exciting components to ChatGPT because even for me, as a programmer, it's significantly been able to accelerate the sheer quantity of code that I can build in a day. I remember one day I probably did well over 1,000 lines of code and got it working as well. So oftentimes your goal as a programmer then is to make sure the inputs are right, make sure the outputs are right, make sure your prompts are good, and make sure each function is doing what you want it to do. And then you daisy chain them all together and you can do something pretty amazing. So
because this already acts as a chatbot, it's kind of superfluous to make it act as a chatbot. So it started replying. It's kind of doing
ABC.
this weird ABC thing. So it thinks it's ABC. Is that because I said up here you have experience in ABC or something? Our goals are ABC.
Ah,
Okay.
there we go.
Okay. What are our goals? Like, well, I think this is a really good thing where we would say, I don't know what my goals should be. Like, what should my goals be? What should my goals be as a successful YouTuber? And then
Consistently creating content. Yeah, it's got to be engaging, which this might not be super engaging, but it's
this is
fun.
the process. So like you'll see, I did this the other day. I needed to write like a expert sales letter, and I was like, I don't know what to ask someone to write an expert sales letter. So I was like, I'll ask GPT, and I use this as an input. Summarize this into 2 sentences. So essentially, we're going to give the assistant some goals to help us with. Okay, so go back here, and we'll edit this initial prompt to give us.
I saw the upgrade plan on your
Oh,
interface.
cool. Our goals are our goals as a successful YouTuber.
Yes, as a successful YouTuber are, and then get rid of your goals.
Creating
Our goals can, yeah.
Are creating high quality content, building engaging. Success on YouTube means different things, different people.
That's
Okay.
ambiguous.
Yeah. Okay. So I would take this out. And I would. What was my initial prompt? Okay.
Create a channel name.
Would even ask it like, where do we start? So maybe it's freaking out now because seems to not like it all the time when you change the initial prompt. Okay, so here's a list of things for us to do.
There we go. There's some tasks for us to do.
So first thing we need to do before coming up with a name is
define the target audience.
Yeah.
So the question is, who are you? Um, we are. How do we define target audience?
So people can just read along on the screen. We're not going to read all
Yep.
this out because it'll be
Yep.
too boring for people. But we're just drilling down into stuff that we don't know how to do, or we're too lazy to think about and research on our own. And I saw an example. Google's coming out with a product or has a product like this at the moment, where you can actually just keep. They actually have an interface where you can click on this, and it drills down and explains that item in more detail, and then
Mm-hmm.
it kind of creates this like nested flow.
Wow.
So identify your areas of expertise and passion, research marketing demand for your topic, analyze your competition, determine target audience, age generally. So, can you do this? Can you answer this for me, making reasonable suggestions? We typed this before, didn't we? Somewhere like
Yeah.
what we wanted
In
to
the
do.
playground, I think.
Um, yeah, here we go. We we are okay. I'll just paste this here. Can you answer these questions for me? And just for, I don't have to do this, but I will do this. We just ask it to do one at a time. This question. Okay.
Mm.
Not quite giving me what I wanted to. I wanted to just answer the question.
Yeah.
So I would probably tell it to stop generating. Um, okay. Context. I've used this technique a little bit. Context. Uh, help. Finding these. Us define niche and target audience. By answering
Provide.
this,
Yeah. Provide.
elaborate. Yeah, go on.
Or provide suggestions or provide ideas of target. Oh, what? Yeah.
Okay,
Yep. That's good.
and then we'll just submit that.
Well, we've already identified our areas of expertise and passions. That's the one thing we do know.
Hmm. It just keeps wanting to. Okay, it is going to. For example, do we have automation for small businesses? Experience in automation for small businesses. A niche. Um,
Yeah, well, I don't think this is specific to small business though. It is
no.
anyone who is at home and wanting to learn how to do this stuff. I think small business can benefit from this significantly, but it's also for freelancers. It's also for um, anyone who's interested in IT. In fact, a lot of people who aren't interested in IT, I would implore you to ride this trend somehow by at least using ChatGPT and figuring out ways that you can either monetize it or become more productive in your existing work or start a side hustle um, doing something with it. There's just endless ideas.
I feel like I should be being more verbose with the prompt. Make a heading for each point, and then elaborate. Then brainstorm. Then think about and brainstorm a response to share with who? A marketing. See. So let's see if we get a better response. This is more what I wanted.
Yeah, this is good.
I am passionate about artificial intelligence, blah, blah, blah. Market demand. I've conducted research and found there is a high demand for content related to AI and its application in various industries. Additionally, there is a growing trend in learning Python. Business purposes, true. While there are many YouTubers creating content on AI, my unique perspective as a business professional with an automation difference from others. Complex AI concepts accessible to a wider audience.
You've got,
I don't know if
yeah.
I don't know if that's like unique enough, but my target audience is probably made up of professionals in technology and business industries, as well as students and aspiring entrepreneurs that are likely aged. So that's, I mean, if I researched that for half an hour, I'd probably come up with the same thing.
Yeah.
Creating a buyer personas. I've created 2 buyer personas representing my ideal audience. Jack is a 35-year-old business professional interested in incorporating AI into his company operations, and Jane is a 25-year-old aspiring entrepreneur interested in learning about AI and its applications for startups. I can see that.
This is good. Yeah. I think that's a good foundation.
Create resonating content. By considering their interests and pain points, my audience by personas, I will create content that not educates on AI, Python, and automation, but also highlights practical applications in the business world that set me apart from competition. My
Perfect.
content more
I think that's
relatable
pretty
to.
good.
Okay. Okay. Can you adjust this for like there's 2 of us, right? So should we ask it to adjust it?
Yeah, for Roger and Nathan sharing their expertise.
For a can you adjust this for a adjust this to be more like LTT's The WAN Show, where there are 2 co-hosts.
I'm sure a lot of people on here probably know who LTT is with Linus Tech Tips, and he runs an additional channel called The WAN Show, which is 2 co-hosts talking about tech.
Okay.
So if you guys are thinking about creating content, this is for a YouTube channel. This is a great way to drill down on your audience and have clarity. And then we'll get to the meat and potatoes end, which is where we're just coming up with the name and the description based on this information, rather than just kind of coming up with the name first like we did in the beginning.
Yeah. And yeah, and so like we were talking about initially, about chaining these operations together, you can see how we didn't really even know where to start. So we asked questions and we kind of knew what output we were expecting. We kept refining the prompt until we got the output we were expecting. Didn't know the exact detail, but each step, output from one becomes the input to the next. And so let's just go with the resonating content section here. By considering the interests and pain points of their target audience, Roger and Nathan will create content that not only educates on AI, Python, and automation, but also highlights its practical applications in the business world. Their dynamic hosting style will set them apart from competitors and make their content more relatable to. I mean, that's true.
This is exactly what we.
Because there's so many. I watch them every day. I mean, they're great, they're great. Like there's so many great YouTubers out there making content on GPT, but there's not many people that are doing it as a duo. So
Yes, agree.
I think that can be a strength for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we should like do something with this. So what was
Yes.
it?
So
This
now we want to
is
just come up with business name, about channel names based on this. What was the next step? It says
so
yes, we've done that.
research your
And
market.
let's say we've done that based on the information GPT provided. Analyze your competition.
Hang on, did I asked it to do all these, didn't I? So it's now
I
we've kind of done this part.
Yep.
Yeah, because we're like going down a nested kind of tree structure. So
Yep.
we've done. I think we can tick off that one, and so now we can say, I mean, let's focus now on choosing a catchy and memorable name for Roger and Ethan's channel.
So what you could do here, and I'm actually in the process of writing a function to help me come up with channel names and descriptions. But you could input some channels that we aspire to be like as examples. And you could even go as far as researching videos on those channels and inputting some keywords and stuff that they use. But of course, that's very laborsome to do in a competitive analysis, because that was one of the steps, was competitive analysis. So let's assume we did competitive analysis and we got all that information. We would use that as guidance for this step. But what you can do is actually just write a Python script to pass in a query that you wanted to rank a video for, or you wanted to start doing videos about, and it will go and find those channels, go and find those videos, and assemble all that data for you so you can add it into the prompts. So that's what I'm slowly building out for future channels.
Yeah, that would be awesome once we have that. So what I'm doing is basically the same thing. I'm coming up with this story. So I'm recruiting for an expert branding executive that can build $1 million YouTube channels. What attributes should I look for? I can't even spell, but so I'm going to then tell it to take on this persona, and given the context of our channel, to suggest names.
Yes. Okay. That's a good idea.
I'm not even. This is really like it kind of becomes monkey work because I'm not even reading it anymore.
Yeah.
It's too much text to process. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to be in that headspace, and then so that I want to go. I probably would go back to here. Hang on, where are we? Down here somewhere. Okay. You are a. I probably should do this as a separate channel. So I'll just copy this, and I'll start a new. Hang on, I'll probably copy the first part of this. And kind of update it. I know takes a little bit of time, but you do get
There's
better
nothing
results.
compared to actually writing all this stuff. But this, you have to keep in mind that a lot of people get stuck in this phase for days and weeks and doing
Yeah,
research and branding. And some people, when it comes to starting a business and they need to do the market research, it could take, they could never get past the market research, because sometimes to do it well requires you to do a lot of work. And we're not saying this isn't doing all the market, this is doing all the market research for us. It's not in any way, shape, or form. It's still not going out and doing surveys and doing research, but you can research online demand by looking at search traffic volume things of that nature, maybe reviews and stuff like that from your couch. Whereas big companies do go and do massive surveys and polling and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't replace any of that, but it does provide us a much better guide than just coming up with a hunch.
Yeah. I'm gonna just kind of like clean this up a little bit. I know I probably don't have to do this, but for the sake of I don't know, just an intuitive kind of feel, I guess. I'm asking it. I've just taken that initial prompt from before because I did like how we defined our goals and stuff before, and I'm just trying to give it more and more context as we go. So not because I'm starting a new thread, I don't want to.
Yeah, I guess the context is related to a thread that I'm aware of.
And what do we call it? Target audience.
Yep.
Research. I'll put context in here.
And just finish the word research.
Yep. Then I'll go to my clipboard and I'll find that thing. Okay, so this is what we had before. Okay. And we will give it the task here, okay? So the task, what are we going to ask it to do? Generate names.
Yep. Generate
Okay.
YouTube channel names.
Let's be really specific. We want like viral YouTube channel names.
Yeah, okay.
Or
Viral YouTube channel names.
YouTube channel names.
Can we give it more tasks, or we'll wait to give it another task?
We can give it like mutual goals, like kind of like if we had more than one goal and we wanted to optimize it simultaneously, we could give it more than one.
Yeah, I realized that from something I did last night. So I think you could probably even ask it to names and descriptions.
Yeah. Generate viral YouTube channel names and descriptions with ideas for logos. This is quite visual.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what worked well was with text to image prompts for branding.
Oh yeah. Branding for style and branding.
Yeah, maybe for style and branding. Well, more specifically for YouTube channel art.
Generate 10. Oh, let's just start with 5. 5. Do we? Okay, we'll just see because I'm not going to say use alliteration now because I feel like if it's an expert of all these things, it's going to be better than my ideas.
Better than your expertise.
AI business insights, decoding the Python power play. Say it's using alliteration. Titan Tech Titans. AI entrepreneurs.
Of course, you need to check whether these already exist.
Okay, so it's actually going down to give branding for each one of them. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's the image. A computer screen displaying graphics and data with a hand holding a pen and making notes on a notepad. Okay.
It's not very viral, I
They're
wouldn't
not
say.
very interesting. Person standing in
Unleash.
front of a large machine and their arms crossed and with a determined expression. Two people sitting at a table with a computer and notepad deep in conversation. Yeah, that hasn't really captured the AI side of things in the image prompts, at least.
No, we'd probably, yeah. I mean, we're asking it to do multiple things. I think it's good to ask it to do multiple things at once.
Yeah.
But
it did all right with the names. They're quite long, but I guess we could
Tech Titans is good. I mean, we've got
I
a
do
couple
like
of
Tech
ones.
Titans.
Is it taken?
So look, I'll check on my side.
I mean, it's got to be used somewhere. Titans.org, a forum that connects. I mean, is it going to be like? Do we need a name that's not stealing someone else's?
There is a Tech Titans already. There's actually a few of them. One, two,
Yeah.
3, 4. None of them are big. There's one with 1,000 subscribers. But that's it
On YouTube.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Be good if
I
it
feel
was
like.
like completely standalone.
Oh, Tech Titans has got 8 subscribers. Oh, okay. I see. Tech. Oh no, right. I see. Can you just look for YouTube names?
Yeah, you should be able to, in filters, choose just type channel.
Oh,
Yeah, there's quite a few Tech Titans. So
well,
probably not that.
so we need to change the prompt to have a unique.
Yeah, if it's aware of YouTube up
Generate
until what,
5
2021.
unique viral video.
The descriptions can definitely be longer as well. They can probably contain like 160 characters.
Go for a post cyber punk feel.
Nice. Yeah.
I feel like everyone's doing the cyberpunk thing. So
Yeah, everyone's into it these days. Maybe not the game. Haven't heard great reviews about the games, but the styling and graphics are.
a sleek modern logo featuring a stylized AI symbol. Automation experts, AI for business.
It's kind of I don't know why it's got the image prompt and the name, but did you remove the description?
No, it's just
Okay,
we didn't.
so
I can go back in a second and give it an example. So if you don't know, you can do that, and then you can be like, "Do we? Is this what we wanted to do? This one, and then this one, right?
yeah.
And then we want to go forwards, and then edit it, and then task." And I hate
Under the
that.
task, you could write example.
Yeah. And I gotta copy the last one. So I think we've got to go aim. I don't know if it'll happen. What will happen if I resize my window? I'm gonna try. That just is that okay?
It's a bit. Yeah, that's better now. That's a bit small.
I'm just gonna do this editing because and then I'll go back to the normal size because otherwise
Yep.
it's too hard.
Yep.
Description, image, then yeah. So the name, and then what's this? The tagline? Or is that the description?
Yeah, that looks like it's a tagline. I think it's trying to create the description.
Maybe we should give it a tagline instead.
Yeah, I think tagline is good. We can use it for other things.
Okay, yes. So I'll delete these so it doesn't get all hung up on the actual content. But you can do like this I found earlier. Tagline, be like text. We'll just go.
Can you change your window
Oh yeah,
back?
sorry.
Yeah, cool.
The AI effect. Oh, has my screen stopped sharing?
I know. I just stopped sharing my screen because I was just basically sharing AI, you sharing your screen. So
I mean, is there something called the AI effect?
that's cool.
I don't think there is. The AI effect, exploring the impact of artificial on business and entrepreneurs. Yeah, it's broad enough. Stylized illustration of hand holding a smartphone with glowing neon AI symbol on the screen. Can we?
Yeah, I can
This
do that. I've got Midjourney open.
okay. Maybe I'll just do it on my screen just to save the
Oh,
screen
you got it
sharing and
open?
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, you've got Midjourney. Where do you do your Midjourney?
I just do it in the Discord server at the moment. Unfortunately, they don't have an API, but I have. I could do it through Stable Diffusion, but Midjourney's still one of the better ones with in terms of its graphics. How about you? I don't think. Yeah, Dali's probably not going to be.
Did this last night actually. I was on the phone with someone else and get started for free. So we'll just generate a few. So here's some cool ones.
Hmm.
Is this what
Can you
post
send me the?
cyberpunk
Can you
looks
send
like?
me the prompt?
Yeah,
Prompt?
sure. I guess this is what post cyberpunk looks like,
Yeah, a lot of sort of neon looking things.
which is interesting because it's generated by AI. So like, I don't know. I like this one. It's like a dot in the head.
Yeah. Let's have a look here.
Okay, here's stable diffusion. It's like someone falling over. The style of a hand holding up a smartphone with a glowing neon AI symbol on the screen.
Mm. So
Um,
I've launched the Midjourney one as well. So we'll see how that goes. Share my screen.
anyway, anyway, let me generate some more. I'll just generate more. I won't change it. I'll just generate more.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, they're pretty cool too.
Yeah, Midjourney kind of just take things to just a slightly higher level.
Is Midjourney about getting into Discord?
Yeah,
That way to
I'm in the Discord server now. That's how I access it. Because it is a Discord server bot.
yeah, okay.
So they've got an internal API, but for some reason they're not even at the moment. Don't seem to be planning to release
It's
one.
I find that weird. I find it weird that like I guess there's a big creative community that's like it's accessible maybe at Discord and
Yeah. The interesting thing is
didn't create some more.
it
While
it's
we wait.
it's notorious. Actually, like which one out of those four do you like? The
Probably the bottom one.
bottom right,
I don't think
bottom
inverted
left.
hands looks cool.
This is the
Um,
thing. It's still text to image can't quite do hands very well. Although this one looks pretty complete. This one's got 5 fingers. This one's got like six deformed fingers and 3 fingers here.
I like the
So
one on the bottom left, like with looks
bottom
like a
left.
rain dripping down
Yeah,
on the
I'll
screen.
do a variation of that. That's number 3. And I'll do a variation of number 1 too, because I like that one.
Dali 2's got like it's got getting the text generation kind of okay. Um,
Yeah, there is some text. I could change this to have UX UI on it, and it would actually help us build a full mock-up of the application if we wanted to build a website. Yeah, so it doesn't do a great job with fingers. Kind of cool though. 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. Yep. This one's got 3. I like these ones a bit more.
um, I'm just pulling up an example, like a way to to generate. You don't need to put in very explanatory prompts. Keep them simple and let ChatGPT make more complex and descriptive.
Mm.
So what people can't see, but what I've done is I'm just pulling up an example of how prompt for a dragon talking. So I think they're just saying, the thing is, I want to create prompts from our conversation. So I want to say,
Right, you maybe create a detailed and descriptive text-to-image prompt from the information below.
yeah, I kind of want to ask it, write a a short story about Roger and Nathan. Be extremely detailed about the visual aspects of the story.
So, just want to get some clarity with the text-to-image prompt you sent through. Was that in context of the icon or logo or something? Or was this more of
I think,
an abstract thing?
like, why are we doing the?
Yeah, is the purpose of this to create a profile image, to create just general channel art? Because one of the first things we'll need will be a banner. Of course, you can't get Stable Diffusion or DALL-E to create such a wide image, but you can use some elements in an image and just whip it up in Canva or something.
Sorry, say that again.
So I guess so. Do we want to use this image for the cover image or a profile image?
I was thinking more of like, the reason I started going down this path was to try and refine what what image output it's generating here.
Yeah,
And so yeah, then we were like, okay, well, let's see what it looks like, and then we'll kind of get something that looks good, and I guess figure out what the input is to that, and then we'll substitute that here, and then when we generate these suggestions, these will have good good suggestions. So
yeah.
I've asked it to come up with a story here, which is looks like a pretty good story. And then I would just say, summarize the visual aspects from the story into 2 sentences.
I don't know if you can see my screen. But basically, I took the prompt that you gave me, put it into ChatGPT, and said, write a detailed cyberpunk computer game style image to text prompt for the exact prompt that you gave me. Plus, I made some tweaks to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's giving me a massive prompt, a very descriptive prompt.
What was the
Uh,
prompt? Can you paste me the prompt that you used to generate it?
oh, well, I haven't created the image yet.
And not the image, just the,
Oh,
what
yeah.
did you use to generate that? Yeah,
Yeah,
just
write a detailed, so I'll paste it to you.
yeah, just paste it to me. Because I'll so I asked it to summarize. Maybe I'll just ask it directly to write a detailed.
I don't know how big mid-journey prompts can be. Let's find out. Yep. It's letting me do a pretty big one.
I'm kind of just I'm kind of hacking stuff together here.
Yep, so am I. That is the ChatGPT way.
Okay, a sleek and modern studio with a. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you this one. You have to generate this one for me too.
Okay.
I do have Discord and I have been into the bot before, but I don't like it. It's too annoying.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Discord fan. I'm only in it because Midjourney is still the king in terms of style.
Okay. Is this prompt too big?
Send it to me.
Oh, I can't. It's too big to send in the comments.
Oh, okay. That's probably too big.
I'll send
If,
it as 2 sections, okay?
yeah.
3 sections. Maybe I can say summarized.
I like some of this concept art that's coming up that I'm creating is pretty cool. But I'll say two male figures stand in a dark alley illuminated by Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
So some of this this is some of the concept art that it's given me from the original, drilling it down.
Hmm.
It's kind of cool. I'm just modifying it to have 2 figures. So it's you and I talking about tech.
Yeah, I guess that's the. It's weird that that's been lost in the context here.
Yeah, here we go. Now it's generating it. Oh, that one's a bit creepy. They do tend to err on the creepy side.
Well, that's probably the post
The
cyberpunk feel.
cyberpunk you feel, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you like any of them?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe we'd prefer to be not just in the street, maybe in more of
Try
a.
try this prompt, because this prompt that I've just pasted in there,
It's pretty.
it's about a studio. It's set in a studio
Oh,
with
cool. Yeah,
sleek
yeah, yeah, yeah.
metallic
Oh,
walls
yep,
and neon
got
blue
it.
lights.
Yeah, I love that
And
one.
it's got 2 people at a circular desk surrounded by high-tech equipment, dressed in sharp black suits.
Oh, there we go. It's
Like style, neon
it's like
blue accent.
us in an ideal world, hey?
Yeah, I'll take the prompt and stick it into some stuff too. Let's see what we get.
Okay, it's diffusing. Innovation and excitement, showcasing the latest advancement in AI and business. Here we go. Here we go. It's getting. It feels like kind of like, yeah, studio. Okay, yeah, okay. So we're a news outlet.
Yeah, it looks like a news outlet studio.
It's interesting. I feel like it hasn't done a great job with the people's faces.
Yeah,
Something to be too realistic about it.
you see mine as well.
Let's have a look. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Let's see the stable diffusion results.
Modern
There,
post-cyberpunk studio with a sleek metallic walls and neon light. Roger and Nathan are seated at a circular desk by high-tech equipment, dressed sharp black suits.
I feel sorry for anyone that's watching this. They're gonna be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. But nonetheless, we still need to decide on channel title and
I feel like
a.
we were going well there for a while, and then we went down the.
Yeah, we went down that. The moment you get into image, you get immersed and you get lost down this rabbit hole to explore possibilities. But you can see very quickly, though, you can create very high quality graphics. You've got the text. We've got our marketing audience segmentation. We know who we're writing content for. Really all we need now is to just have the name. Actually, didn't we, the AI effect? You happy with that?
I'm going to put that in as an example and generate more.
Okay. So AI effect, and you can just keep drilling down until you find exactly what you want, all within a few hours. So that's pretty shocking that you can do that these days. And then I could probably just log into Canva.
Where am I going to paste this? So I will save this.
Go
The future
to,
of work, navigating a changing landscape of work through technology innovation.
yep.
The code innovators, unlocking the power of Python programming for business and entrepreneurs. It's coming up with good prompts now,
That's good.
like for the images.
Yeah, send me some more and I'll generate some.
It's not really elaborating too much on them though. Tech disruptors, and it's always putting the in front of it. Maybe I need to prefix this with example. Example. Generate 5 prompts to style and branding. Focus on the unique aspects of the collaboration between Roger and Nathan. And this doesn't really, we haven't really like told it anything about what's different between you and me. We just kind of generated one profile for a person and we're like, just make
Yeah.
that too. So, um,
Yeah, I feel like I could probably modify one of these prompts, which are bringing some really nice colors in, to be,
I'm just going to go through some names and see. I do not want to do that. I mean,
okay.
Bullshit,
Yeah.
digital engine, people's names. People's names are very common. Crafts computing is great. Jeff Geerling. I mean, building a brand around your name is kind of Techno Tim. Techno Tim's obviously. Maybe I'm just gonna pick 5 names that I like as well.
Yep. Yeah, just do that. I'm not too fussy.
So names that I like just from this list here. Not necessarily saying about the channels, but more about like I mean, someone's name like Lex Friedman. I mean, powerful JRE, John Rogan experience is what it stands for, isn't it?
Joe Rogan, yeah.
It's almost like he's using NLP though, like neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah, JRE.
I think he is using neuro. interesting aspect to it. Using neural linguistic programming as a framework. There. What happened there? Using neural. Oh, I don't know if this will work while I'm on a call with you, but I can try and show you. Using neural linguistic programming. Using neural linguistic programming. I don't think it wants to work while I'm on a call with you. Can you still hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Just waiting for some images to generate, and then I'll throw some into a Canva doc and we can start getting the concept art together.
Using neural linguistic programming. Seems to not want to work while I'm on a call with you, but I have this macro set up that lets me just talk to any text field.
Oh yeah.
Generate 5 YouTube video names. I think I'm going to go back here. So I've asked it to generate some video names. So what I want to do is first, before I do this, outline how you can take a name and use your programming to make it more powerful and memorable. This is such a never-ending.
It is never ending.
rabbit
You
hole.
can fall into a
So it's
deep,
like
deep hole.
you have this new tool, but it takes you just as long, but you do a better job.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you do tend to have areas of this where you like. I mean, you still would take you ages to write that if you were writing that stuff. Um,
So I've asked it because I kind of got inspired by. I never really clicked before, but Joe Rogan has used natural language programming, whether he realizes it or not, in his name,
yep.
Powerful JRE, and it got me thinking. Like, in addition to using a viral, asking for something that's viral, what makes something viral? Using the neural linguistic programming framework, you could take a name and you could use those principles to make something.
All right, I'm gonna try use another tool to put together our channel art. Yeah, that's not really very good either.
Positive, powerful, and viral, and influential names. Let's say brand. Some random issues with text just disappearing. So what are you working on there, buddy?
I have got some AI concept art that I'm putting together in Canva for our YouTube channel profile.
Okay.
AI chats with Roger and Nathan. We've just got to dial in the name. I'll probably use a different background image and mess around with this formatting.
What about AI Edge?
Oh, that's pretty good. I like it.
I'm just going to do a search of
Okay, I'm not the best graphics designer. I'm a programmer, and there's a lot I need to fix with this. I would love to remove the background of this, but it's a paid feature in Canva, which currently don't have a Canva subscription. And yeah, but generally the concept art's there, the kind of colors are there. We've got purple and blue. That's the cyberpunk way, and yeah, space for the title heading. I don't think we need that. And I'll just make it much cleaner and look a lot nicer.
So then we're going to have to can you give me a background that I can change my YouTube to? Like my YouTube background?
Oh,
Like
that's what. So that's what we're creating. It's
yeah,
you mean the profile picture? I mean, not the profile, the banner image.
like this thing behind me. Hang on, I got a call. I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right. So thank you for joining us on this mission to create a YouTube channel today. We do have most of it in place, and we've got plenty of ideas to write the description about, and we've got concept art kind of roughly created. Nothing's finalized, of course. We'll finalize that a bit more. But if you are hesitating to create a YouTube channel or to explore a business idea and what ChatGPT and GPT can do for you with the power of integrating that with Python, then I say just try it. And as Nathan mentioned earlier, it's about about breaking tasks down into smaller chunks and seeing what you can actually automate. And you may find that there are creative tasks that consume a lot of your day or your staff's day, and ultimately can be automated through this NLP style model, which can understand your instructions. If you can think of a way to format your instructions in a way that is you can get a consistent output and it solves the problem that you're wanting it to solve, then you could probably automate it. That's what's quite exciting about it. I'm not sure whether Nathan will be coming back or not, but feel free to leave now. And thanks for joining us on our first endeavor into YouTube. And this is our very first video, so we're obviously pretty rough around the edges. So thanks so much for your time. Looking forward to talking to you soon. And by the time you watch this, you'll actually see that the YouTube channel is created and has a name, because that's how you would have seen it. So thanks so much for your time, and we really appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.